Hello everyone, welcome to UPSC Adda 24/7. Today in this session we would be talking about the demographic dividend. What is demographic dividend and how India can harness its true potential. The topic is relevant and the questions have already been asked in the UPSC examination. Even in prelims it was asked like the 4-5 years back, and in mains also they have been asking directly or indirectly about the topic. So let us try to understand first of all what is demographic dividend. So we would be starting with the basic definition. Here the demographic dividend means the economic growth potential. Remember the word economic growth potential that can result from the shifts in population age structure. That means it is talking about the economic growth potential based on the working age population, based on the age structure. Structuring of the age. You can have a timeline. Let's suppose from 0, we can divide it from 0 to 15, and then 15 to 64, and then 64 plus. Okay, so basically it is talking about the working age population, that is from 15 to 64. So what is trying to say is whenever the population of age group 15 to 64 is more than that of the dependent age group, which we call as 0 to 15, the young people who are about to start working, and 64 plus who have already contributed to the economy. So this population 0 to 15 and 64 plus is considered as the dependent age group, and this one 15 to 64 is basically what? Working age population. We also call it as WAP many a times. So if WAP, that is the age group of 15 to 64, upon the dependent age group, that is 0 to 15 and 64 plus, it is greater than 1, then it is called as positive. As in, it is, if it is 1 plus, it is said to be giving us a dividend, it is said to be giving us a profit, it is said to be profitable for the economy, because more the participation of the people, the better will be the economy, and the chances of them earning will be more, and the growth of the economy will also be there. Alright, so this was about the meaning of demographic dividend. Let us move forward and try to see the period of demographic dividend in large economies. If you see Indian economy from 2018, it is said that the working age population is more than that of dependent age population. So from 2018 to almost 2055, it is said that we will be having this demographic dividend, as in the age population, the working age population will be more than the dependent age population. You can see Japan's demographic dividend was from 1964 to 2004 for 40 years. Then Italy from 1984 to 2002, 18 years. Korea, it was 87 to 2027. It will be till 2027. So that will be again for 40 years. For Spain, it was 1991 to 2014. Similarly, for China, it was 1994 and it will be there till 2031. For Thailand, from 1994 to 2028. For Brazil, it will be it started from 2006 to 2038. India and Bangladesh started in 2018. Bangladesh is expected to have that till 2052, India till 2055. So India will be having this advantage for 37 years. So from now, as in from 2022, it is expected till 2055. So a lot of years are there, and if we do really well, if the government plans it in a better way, if the people support it, we are going to have a very good time as a country. So if you see India's dependency ratio past and future, in 1960 it was around 77%. It increased till 81.5% here in around 1968-69, and then it has dropped down. Dependency ratio has dropped down to 49.8% around about in 2018, and till 2055 we are going to see this, and after that again dependency will increase. So this is a golden age for India, and so we will be trying to understand it in an even better way. If you see the age population, it is from the age is here 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14. It is India's population in 1991. This is male population, this is female population. So what is happening is, because our fertility rate is decreasing, as in the the population of 0 to 14 is decreasing. So this bulge, as in if you see initially it is like this is more bulged, okay, so slowly it will reduce down to here say, and this part will increase. So that means the curve will be basically like this, and then it will be going like this. So basically the bulge will increase here in the middle section, and this will start reducing or shrinking, you can call. So this is what the change will be. If you see of 2021 the Sensex, or if you see the 2011 Sensex, so it will be operating like that. So all the data will come slowly and we can figure it out, and we will see that kind of a change. Alright, so let us move again and try to understand the situation in India. So if you see the MOSPI, as in the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation of Government of India, what are they stating is that the median age of the Indian population will be around 28 years in 2021. So what it tries to say is that we have a young population. We have a young populace, and that will become 31 by 2031. So we have also started aging a little bit, but we are the youngest among the global economy, the major global economy. Then again, India's joblessness rate hit a 4-month high of 7.9%. So what we are trying, we are talking about demographic dividend, but there are chances that if it is not harnessed properly, there can be demographic disaster as well, because the population is huge, the working age population is huge, but we are unable to provide them employment properly. All right, the unemployment rate, obviously, there are various reasons. Pandemic is again a major reason, and pandemic has led to a lot of troubles for most of the families. And the unemployment rate has risen steeply in the last few years from about 15.66%, that is unemployment rate we are talking about, to 28.26% in 2021. It was 32% in August 2021, but that was also because of the pandemic. So we have to take everything into consideration, but overall the unemployment rate has increased, which is a bad signal for us. Also, 9 million of 55 million graduate degree holders were unemployed in 2019. So that tells about that our education system is not providing enough skills to the potential employable candidate. They are not having enough skills so that the industry can absorb them. So this is again a grave situation. This is a situation where we will have to work very strongly. Before we proceed further, what you can do is you can subscribe to our YouTube channel UPSC Adda 24/7, and you can also press the bell notification, so that whenever we have some videos, you can keep watching us, you can continue watching us, and also you can share it to your friends, because that will help us to reach out to them as well, and they can also have the benefits out of it. So let us move further to the topic, what leads to demographic dividend. I hope you understood the topic demographic dividend. Okay, that was the basic thing, that your age is important, and the age structure, that the age structure of population, that is what we are talking about, if the working age population is more than the non-working age population, and that is what is dividend all about. Okay, so what leads to demographic dividend? If you see demographic dividend, why is it what can lead to demographic dividend? What can lead to benefit from our demography? It has to be the decline in fertility rates, because then what will happen is the birth rate will reduce. Okay, birth rate will reduce. That means the dependent young population from 0 to 14 will reduce, and that will lead to what? That will lead to more population in the working age. Similarly, decline in mortality rate, that is also one of the reasons that demographic dividend is improving, and that is why the fertility rate is dropping down, because there is less mortality, there is less number of deaths. So people are more confident about the survival of their kids, their survival of the human populace. Okay, then why is it so? Because of improved health facilities. Also, there is change in mindset, and also everything has become costly, so that also is an indirect reason. And increased literacy, that is also one of the major factors which leads to demographic dividend, because more educated you are, if you spend more time in education, obviously, chances are that you will study for more number of years, you will have your marriage delayed, you will have those things at a later date, and obviously then the population will reduce little. You will be more interested in working as well, and that is where so everything is basically interlinked. Then what are the challenges in achieving these demographic dividend? So when you're talking about challenge, we can segregate it into different aspects. Let's suppose we can bisect it into education, health, employment, female participation ratio, and then the whatever the issues are there in the policy implementation, and also the imbalances that are being observed. So let's suppose first of all we talk about education or health, because those are the major things that affect this demography. So if we can talk either about education, we can talk about health. So the education system, if we talk about, so whatever is being taught, that is based on a curriculum, but that curriculum has some mismatch with the industry standards. You can say that it is not moving at the pace at which the economy is moving. You can say that because whatever is being taught, that becomes, in many of the case it is not relevant to what is the need of the market. So it is not skill oriented, it is basically a theoretical aspect of your reading. So we need to incorporate the practical part of it as well, so that we can have better employability. If you are graduating, you should have a better employability. Okay. Also there is lack of quality. Education, as in we are trying to increase or expand the access of education, but then in trying to do so, quantity is increasing but quality is decreasing. That is exactly what it tells about U without Q, basically universalization without quality. So that means we are trying to have increase in enrollment rate, we are trying to expand it to hinterlands, we are trying to make sure that everyone, as in every kid goes to school, but the enrollment comes but the effectiveness doesn't come. And the Acer report released by Pratham also has some startling revelation, where they say, as in many of the students, and most of the students, they are unable to even do basic mathematic calculation, they are unable to do basic mathematic operation, they are unable to write their names, they are basically literacy rate in the name of being literate is okay, but to have that functional literacy, as in that is missing, and that will come through quality. So quality basically is missing at the moment. So we need to focus on quality as well. All right. Then the education system is not industry driven, as in we can incorporate with, there is not relevant skills which is being found. There is gap between curriculum and present societal, as in present industrial need. Or also if you talk about education, as in there is a lot of difference between caste caste and class divide is observed, as in whenever it is being taught, as in then what happens is people tend to study based on their family, as in family societal status, family status, and they go to private schools, they will teach, they will lead to better curriculum. It is also perceived, some in some of the states you can see better education facilities also, but more or less it is perceived it that way. And also with the present setup in the education system, the innovation is missing. There is the focus on research and development should be more, the focus on innovation should be more, the focus on analytical thinking should be more, but that is slightly missing. So we need to work on that aspect as well. And so moving ahead, we have talked about education, and for achieving better demographic dividend, what we have to also ensure is better health facilities for everyone, be it men, be it women, be it a boy, be it a girl, anyone. So the IMR, infant mortality rate, and maternal mortality rate, those were causing a lot of challenge. Though the things have started to improve, but still the mortality rate is a little on the higher side. So that needs to be taken care of if we have to ensure that we don't move towards demographic disaster, and ensure that we are moving positively and reaping benefits of demographic dividend. Also, what we need to do is we need to ensure that nutrition is provided properly. So the schemes that the government has, that has to be properly implemented, so that everything reaches out to people, reaches out to the children. So especially the girl child also, they also struggle a lot because of the cultural norms or the societal behavior, they lag behind. and many of the girls, most of the girls, remain anemic. So these are the things that we will have to take care of. Also, adolescent women struggle with their health issues, and that also has to be taken care. And nowadays things are improving, but again, they need to take care of their hygiene, they need to take care of their reproductive health. Okay, and then you have the out of pocket expenditure, which that erodes savings, health, accessing health facilities becomes difficult, especially if you have slightly major disease, the primary health care is there, but the health situation is not that good. People have to travel even hundreds of kilometers to get better health facilities. And also, because of lack of facilities in villages, what people have to do is they have to come out of their village, they have to go to cities where the health facility is very costly, and also they have to stay outside, let's suppose they have to take a lodge, they have to take they have to basically do more expenditure in trying to avail better health facilities, which should be taken care of, because these out of the pocket expenditure, they are very costly, and the government has to have some provision so that everyone can have access to better health facilities, if we are trying to ensure that we reap benefits of this demographic dividend. Also, there is loss of working hour due to lifestyle diseases. That is pretty obvious due to sedentary lifestyle, and with the way we are moving, everything is becoming digital, so the physical activities has reduced, and that has led to sedentary lifestyle, and that leads to a lot of diseases. You will see many people pretty obese, and those things lead to a lot of struggle, and that means that the productivity reduces, the quality of work reduces, because if you are involved in if you're not having a good health at that day, on that day, you will always have that struggle. So you will not be able to focus on the work that is at your hand, and the work will be delayed, the quality will be hampered. So these things has to be taken care of. So better health is very important, be it men or women, but in case of women, it is even more important. Then you talk about the employment issues, and if you talk about reaping the benefits of demography, you will have to ensure that people have employable capabilities. And where will that come from? That will come from skill development, and if there is no skill, the government has to ensure that they impart some sort of skill so that they become employable. People become employable. So at the moment there is some mismatch, and that needs to be taken care of. For that, we need to have better training imparting institutions, and that can happen through better government initiative. There are apprentice programs, there are other programs, there are IT centers where ITI centers where these trainings are provided, these gaps are being bridged, but we need to take further care of it, take better care of it, if we have to take better benefits of this population. Then you have this jobless growth syndrome. Nowadays, if you see, everything has moved digitally. So there is a lot of employability in service sector, but that is not a mass recruiter. The economy may be growing, the GDP may well increase, but that may a firm may be only of 10 people and will be having crores and crores of profit. But let's suppose the construction, but the poor people, they are involved in the construction sites, they are involved in farming, where the profit is less, but majority of people are working there. MSME, they are working in MSMEs, where these industries, they are not reaping great benefits, but they are providing employment to a lot more people than what service sector is providing. So that is where we need to take care of. So we do have a growth, we do have increase in GDP, but this jobless growth syndrome is also being observed. And also, if you see, female participation is important, because if you see, it's almost 50-50. Men is 50% of men, 50% of women, but it is observed that females are participating a lot lesser due to several reasons in the economy, in the workforce. So this low proportion of women in workforce becomes a challenge, because let's suppose if you have 100 people, and out of that 50 are women, and out of those 50 only 20 are participating in the workforce, so that means you have only 70 instead of 100, and so the chances of economic growth reduces. And that happens due to various reasons. There can be problem of a hygienic workplace. There can be lack of assurance of safety. Women many a times don't feel safe at the workplace. Then you have inadequate sanitation facility in the workplace. You have less number of facilities. Let's suppose, as in post pregnancy, there is not enough creche facility for women, so that as in if they can come to office, and the infant can also have some rest there at the workplace. So these are the facilities that we will have to take care of. Also there is some gender disparity, pay disparity, you can say, based on the gender. So that should be avoided. The policy should ensure that there is equal pay for equal work, and these things has to be taken care of before we can actually take advantage of our population. Then there can be some issues in policy implementation. Look, policy is important, but policy implementation is even more crucial. Why I'm trying to say is that because you can have n number of policies, you can have n number of benefits, but what is there is no benefit of it if it doesn't reach, if it doesn't percolate to the needy. So it has to reach to every person who can be benefited out of it. So and what happens is the policy is there, but the beneficiaries are not aware of it. They are unable to take benefit of that scheme. That also is a challenge. Then also there is lack of inconsistent fund. Let's suppose for month of January some n number of funds came, but next month it will be 0.7 of that, next month it can be 1.2 of n. So these are something, as in inconsistent funds come, as in some month it will come nicely, some month it will be delayed due to whatever reasons, as in we should not go into that detail, but those inconsistent fund leads to problem, because for poor people, for general people who are earning well, it doesn't hamper them that much, but for poor who are dependent on like daily wage, these things really make a lot of difference in what they are eating, what they are reading, what they are eating, what they are wearing, and all that aspect, because they don't earn that much. They are basically earning it on a daily basis. So these inconsistency in funds leads to a greater challenge for poor people. Bureaucratic delay is another challenge, and also there is no way to measure the quality of the work being done by people, and that also needs to be developed, that also needs to be monitored. Apart from that, there is urban rural divide. People from urban area may be doing a little better than the rural area, or vice versa in some of the cases. Then let's suppose southern states, as in states from southern India, they are doing better in some of the cases than say northern states, or maybe some of the states like Gujarat may be doing better than, let's suppose, a northeastern state, or let's suppose Bihar, UP. So these things, and also there can be some regional class and caste divide which can delay, which can derail this demographic dividend. So these are the basic challenges that is there in this demographic dividend. In addition, if you try to see this, as in these are the challenges from demographic dividend. So we have tried to explain it with reference to an adolescent girl, and instead of adolescent girls, if you remove some of those things like repeat pregnancy, child illness and death, maternal morbidity, so instead of that it applies to even men. It applies to anyone actually. So let's suppose, as in for an adolescent girl, if they are going for child marriage, they are basically going away from school, or they are going away from being employed. Similarly, what will that lead to? That will ensure that they are leaving school, and if they are not studying, they will be, as in they are not educated enough, they will not be skilled enough, and so they will not be getting that employment. So there they are losing out. And if they leave school, so that means they are not into the workforce. What will happen is they will get married early, earlier than usual. So what will happen is there will be more chances of pregnancy. There will be if you're underprepared for all these activities, there can be more illness. And also if you're underprepared, maybe the child which will come out of reproduction, as in that also will not be that healthy. Then you can have that maternal morbidity, and there will be basically, or otherwise, and after that if they are trying to go for work, what will happen is they cannot get work as per their need. What will happen is they can only get those work which doesn't require much of a skill, as in then they will go for some informal work where there will be insecurity, they will be insecure, and they can be displaced out of the work anytime. Also there will be pay disparity, and they will not get enough wage, and in short, as in their old age will not be secured. But for a woman who is into studies, who is into education, let's suppose they go to school, they go to primary school, they go to secondary school, what that will do is they will go to college, that will make them employable, they will get employment, they will get married with their own choice, with them whom they want to spend their life with, they will be more happy, they will have a healthy children, they will have a security of place, they will have a work-life balance as well, they will have lifelong learning, they can invest on their child, they can invest on the wealth, they can, in short, they will have a secured life, in short. So that is what demographic dividend teaches. So that is what we will have to do. We will have to ensure that every spoke of the wheel is functional, so that we can take benefits. I mean, if the wheel is India, we have to make sure that all the spokes, be it health, be it education, be it employability, everything works in sync, so that we can reap the benefits of this demographic dividend. So let us move forward and try to understand what can be the benefits of demographic dividend. I hope you understood what is demographic dividend and what are the challenges associated with it. What can be the demographic dividend, as in if we have to ensure demographic dividend, so what can happen is you can have increased number of people in the workforce, increased number of people in the economy. So what will that do is that will ensure that there is more income in the family, that will ensure that the economy moves further, that will ensure that GDP grows well, that will ensure high GDP. So that means there can be more savings, there can be more consumption, and also with this there can be rapid urbanization, rapid industrialization, and all those things can be done. Or more so, even the government will try to facilitate more investment on infrastructure. I mean that can be physical infrastructure, that can be investment on people, I mean the school education, and then training of life skills and other aspects where they can be trained to develop certain skills, that will lead to demographic dividend. More so, if everyone is doing this, I mean people can be involved in generating new ideas, they will go for more research, they will go for more development, that will lead to more ideas and innovation, because they have a happier life, they have their economy doing well, the family is doing nicely, and if everything moves well, they will have time to think about developing things which can help the society as well. So whatever the society is facing, whatever challenges society is facing, they will try to come up with better solution. That is what demographic dividend can do. That is what the benefit of having a young population. They will be more energetic, they will be having more energy, so they can do these things, they can do innovative things, they can do some research, they can try to solve many other problems which normally would not be done. So if you talk about how to harness this potential, I mean if there is a chance of reaping the benefits of demographic dividend, what all can be done? So the government can come up with different type of policy framework. They are even now they are coming with that. So we will try to understand about all that. And let's suppose, so what government has to do, it has to make sure that it has policy, it has better policy, it has improving policy with regards to health, with regards to education, with regards to employment generation, and also the development of people, and infrastructural development, and everything associated with that. So first of all, let us try to look about the physical health. how can this be improved, as in how can the physical health of people, how can the physical health of people residing in India can improve? That can be through balanced nutrition, that can be through adequate exercises, and as in balanced nutrition can be there. National nutrition program is there, national supplement nutrition program is there. Then you had earlier midday meal scheme, you had that was revamped into PM Poshan. So there are several schemes. We will not be getting into more details of these schemes, but government needs to come up with better ways to ensure that you have balanced nutrition. You can also have you will have to ensure that you are exercising, you are making sure you are doing enough physical activity, and for that government is also encouraging people to do yoga. That is also National Yoga Day is also celebrated. And you have there should be no intake of harmful substance dependence. And if there is no harmful substance, the government has banned some e-cigarettes, and they keep on doing certain things so that as in people are not harmed. Then you should practice safe sexual behavior, so that as in you're not, so that you should be indulging in safe sexual practice, so that you remain healthy, and everyone is safe. You can have psychological, then you talk about psychological well-being. You should be always feeling positive and good about you, and especially after the pandemic, government is thinking about developing this aspect, and for that they are ensuring that you can avail counseling. You have you can call it telemedicine. You can the counseling is happening through telephones. And during pandemic times, if you observe, some of the governments made sure that if you are struggling with COVID, every day they will call and they will try to see how you are doing, how's your health, so that you don't get demoralized because of this health issues or any other mental issues. Because after the pandemic, as we saw that employment rate has decreased, and there is more number of people unemployed, leading to a lot of stress, leading to a lot of emotional imbalance, and those lead to mental struggle as well. So for that, the government is trying to ensure that they are providing enough number of counselors, they are providing counseling to people, so that they can remain positive about their life, they can feel happy about themselves, and make sure that they also believe that they will come out of this and lead a happier life as well. And again, if you talk about how to do it further, how to improve it further, how to take benefits of demographic dividends, we can talk about character development, we can ensure that they remain morally high, and they remain artistic, they remain they make sure they practice their cultural thing, they develop their characteristics based on that. And in this regard, UPSC also has come up with a separate paper of ethics, which you all will be studying later in the course, in the course of preparation. So these are the things which at the moment, government hasn't come up with separate initiatives, but yeah, they are ensuring it through competitive examination, now that these things have become important. In addition, if you talk about social relationships, so relationships with the family members, with the friends, with members in social groups, at the workplace, those things have to be taken care of, so that everyone remains happy about each other. And even if there is competition, there is not enough rivalry, and everyone feels good about each other, and these things becomes very important. In addition, if you talk about, so these were the health aspect and emotional aspect, and now majorly we have to talk about the education employability aspect of it. So for that, these things, professional development, life skills, social contribution can play a lot of role. In professional development, you have understanding of various career options, what you can do, right from the age of 10, 12, what you're trying to become, what you're planning to become, and for that counseling should be there. Then cultivation of professional knowledge, hard skills and competencies, soft skills you have to develop. You have to ensure that you are able to speak well. You have to make sure the workplace ethics and attitude remains intact. You should ensure that you are learning new skills, you are developing yourself, you are building your capacity, and you're working with the team as well. So these are the professional aspects of which can be improved individually, and also as in government or some governance institution or some public sector institution can be formed so that these things can be taken care of in a better way. At the moment, many of the things are with the private sector, and people don't have access to these things. In addition of all this, as in you have national education policy, you have where as in better education policies is being developed, so that the curriculum matches, the curriculum is able to match the employability, as in there is a lot of thinking involved, there is a lot of analytical thinking being developed. So these are the things which needs to be taken care of, and these things need to be adopted, so that people right from the age of 10-12 they are developing their cognitive ability in that manner. In addition to that, life skills needs to be developed as well, as in managing household and financial responsibilities, and coordinating multiple life roles. At present, or like things are improving a little bit, things are improving, but at the moment, if you will see that responsibility of home remains with the wife many of the times. So as in the coordination and cooperation from the male family members has to increase. So these are the things which needs to be inculcated, and in the child, as in let's suppose if we can develop sustainable ways of living, environment friendly ways of living, that can again lead to better things for the country, for the world in the later years. Okay, and also about social contribution, if you're trying to understand that whatever is the social challenge, you're trying to come up you're trying to think about the problem and come up with a innovative solution, and that can lead to better use of the population, better that can lead to the economy doing much better. Like social contribution, nowadays there is a lot of focus on solid waste management, we have that Swachh Sarvekshan initiative, where different cities are doing you have different ULBs competing against each other, so they will have that ranking. So in trying to have that rank, they are also trying to imbibe better practices with the cooperation and coordination of all the people in that ULBs, urban local bodies, and in different districts. So these are the things which with the help of government and with the support of people, it can be improved. So basically all the stakeholders need to come together and make sure that they are contributing for the welfare of the city, welfare of the district, welfare of the state, and welfare of the country. And if all the countries do that, globally things will be much better. So we have to assume that responsibility, and that can happen only if we are positively involved in taking the benefits, if we are inculcating all the nice habits properly. So what can be the way forward? So first and foremost, as in the population, as in the working population, if you have to reap demographic dividend, the first and foremost thing that you will talk about is the population. The population has to improve. The population has to be, as in the working population has to be more than that of non-working population. That's the first criteria. After that, as in we can work on developing better education policies, so that everyone remains literate, everyone remains educated, and also the quality of education improves, so that as in people are able, as in the next generation is able to reap much more benefit, they are much more employable, and they are able to do it much better. In addition, as in health has to improve, because without health nothing is going to come up, because if you are unhealthy, you are unable to focus on your work, you are unable to go to school, go to work, or anywhere, you cannot do anything. As in, even if you have a fever, you struggle to live that day in a nice manner. You always will have that back of the mind that you are not well, and you will be unable to focus on the work at hand. In addition, if you talk about reaping a demographic dividend, the benefits of demographic dividend, the economy has to do well, and for that the government has to come up with better policies to facilitate all the stakeholders, the businessmen, the entrepreneurs, the people, so that there is enough job. The government has to provide incentives so that the investors, they invest and develop infrastructure, and everyone is participating. Then you have to ensure there is better governance. And the benefit, the governance means as in you have better policies, and those policies are reaching to the people, to the needy people, and these things has to be taken care of. And how do you take care of it? You take care of it with better policies to make sure that people are earning more, people are involved in the economy. You have policies like Manrega, you have policies like PM Kaushal Yojana. Then you have Krishi Vikas Yojana, you have rural self-employment training, the RSETI we call it, rural self-employment training institutes, which are providing training so that people from rural India can become employable. You have training for rural youth for self-employment, TRISEM we call it. So there are different ways so that people evolve, people learn different skills. You have Sahakar Yojana, Sahakar Mitra Yojana, where NCDs are providing young professionals with internship and short-term internship, where not more than 4 months, so that they become employable. They gain those skills to become self-reliant. And nowadays Atmanirbhar Bharat is in news, and steps are being taken to make India self-reliant. You have PM Garib Kalyan Yojana, you have Startup India, you have NSDC doing a lot of stuff as in skill development, for skill development of people. You have Jan Arogya Yojana, you have PM Matra Vandana Yojana, and you have several other schemes, Startup India, Stand Up India, Make in India. So a lot of things that are being done so that we can be self-reliant, and people are involved, people are participating. There is more participation of women. You have many a facility to make women safe. The drinking and sanitation facilities of workplace are being improved, and they have already been improved, and they are getting better and better every day. So these are the things that the government is taking care, so that there can be rise in income of people, so that the GDP increases, the economy is doing better, development is there, you have the economic growth, so everything is there. So this is how we can reap benefits of this demographic dividend. So that was about the lecture, and we will keep coming up with these videos so that you can get more and more information about the topic and start preparing for the subject. And also I would like to mention that we have launched a Target Labasna batch that has already started from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. You can benefit by joining, because all the course will be very nicely structured, and we will be trying to give you 750 plus hours of lectures. We also will be having since CSAT classes separately, we will having unlimited doubt solving sessions with the experts. You will have weekly revision classes, you will have mock test after each module. You will have basically what you will have to do is you will have to be dedicated and disciplined. Whatever is being taught, you will have to revise and come up. Whatever doubts you have, there will be people, there will be faculties, there will be expert people to solve those doubts, because whatever we are trying to do is we are trying to make sure that you are selected, and for that, whatever is needed, we will try to do that. We will ensure that we handhold you till you are selected. Because our basic motive is to get you selected, and for that you can join the course. You can visit the UPSC Adda website, and then you can purchase this course, and we have fantastic offers going on there as well. And you can have separate way, you can have that EMI option as well. So if you are motivated enough, if you are dedicated enough, you can just come up, join the course, and be dedicated. You study well, and we will be guiding you all throughout the year so that you are getting selected. And the course will be comprehensively covered for prelims, mains, as well as interview. So you don't have to worry about any segment, any phase. You just have to keep studying and be guided. And what you need to do is you just need to make sure that you read, you come up for the lectures, and you are studying, and you are revising, and rest of the things we will be taking care of it ourselves. Thanks a lot for watching. You can share the video to people. You can ask your friends to join the course. That's all. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.